Besties, what's up? How we doing? I've had so many people asking me, how did you know you were psychic? So today I figured we'd do a story time. So all of my life I've had like crazy experiences happen to me, like random deja vu moments, like coming true over and over and over again. So when I was 7, I had this dream of me being in this room, and I specifically remembered the wallpaper, and then I remembered there was 2 layers of windows, and then I can see outside through the window, and I could see like the building, and there was like a little circle, kind of like one of those like drive-through things. So I could see that, and I had that dream when I was 7, and then all like the rest of my like childhood, I had like continued to have that dream over and over again. Why are you kicking me? So fast forward, I'm 17 and I'm working at a retirement home. I'm a server. I'm literally carrying this big ass tray full of like 8 plates on my hand like this. And I'm walking, loody-doody-doo, and then I have this "that's a Raven" moment. Like, it was crazy. And I literally, like, knew I was in that same dining room. I had saw the wallpaper, I saw the 2 layers of window, and I saw the circle drive-through, and then a bus was going through it to drop off some of the residents. And I was shook. I was holding this tray of food, and I fucking dropped it. All food. It was like, I think it was like spaghetti or something like that. There was red shit all over my white shirt. I had dropped it on a resident, too. It was bad. So that's the first moment I knew that there was more to my dreams and more to me. So then in 2020, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. So he ended up like kind of staying with me for a while and just kind of hanging out at my apartment. And I guess I kind of took care of him a little bit. So for Christmas, I promised I would get him this silver watch. He was really into it. He wanted it. I was like, cool, yeah, I'll get it for you. I was busy though, so I told him I would get it. It was after Christmas and I was like, I'll get it. I promise. Well, one day I'm sitting in the car, and literally I hear this voice in my head and it's like, go get that watch for your dad. You were supposed to get him for Christmas. So I'm like, okay. So literally I'm like still in the car and I just like turn the car on and I turn around and I drive to Kohl's and I went and bought him the watch that he wanted. And then I walked in the house. I was like, oh, hey, here's that watch I was supposed to give you. Like, here you go. Cool. And he was happy. He was like, oh, thank you. And he put it right on and he was wearing it. And then that night, it was interesting. I had given him the watch and then I had went to bed. I had a dream that he was going into the hospital and he like came to me and he was like, hey son, like I need to go to the hospital, like take me. And I was like, okay. And then as soon as he said that, I sprung out of bed and I was like, I just like knew in my gut, I was like, my dad's gonna have to go to the hospital today. It was crazy. So I had just went along with my day. I went to work, and when I got home from work, I was walking through the doors and my dad was like, hey, I don't feel well. I haven't been feeling well all day. Like I need to go to the hospital. And I was like, holy crap. Cool. So I don't freak out. I don't panic. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get you there. So, we call an ambulance. They come, they take him, and I follow behind him. Family meets me there, all that. Cool. Well, they ended up admitting him into the hospital and they were like, you guys can't stay. Like, it's just best for you to go home and you can see him tomorrow. Cool. So we all go home. I go to bed. It's like almost midnight. So I like go to bed and I'm like, okay, cool. We'll go back and we'll see him like early in the morning. Well, that night I've had one of the craziest, most surreal dreams I've ever had in my entire life. I had a dream that literally my dad died and he was talking to me. He was standing right in front of me and he was saying, I'm sorry, it's my time to go. I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Take care of the family. You're the chosen one is what he kept saying to me. You're the chosen one. Lead the family. Take care of them. But you're going to be the one to break our curses is what he kept saying to me. And then I woke up. I sprung out of bed. It was like 6:17 in the morning. I remember my mom was calling me and she was like, hey, like you need to get to the hospital, like your dad's on life support, he's not doing good. And I was like, okay. I had knew like deep down in my gut that was the day he was gonna die. So I went to the hospital. I had met my entire family there. We were all there. We were all with him. He did pass away that day, but we were all able to be there and be around him. But I had known that this was gonna happen like all day. Like I was just like, I know he's gonna die. Like he's not gonna make it. The night before, I had just like knew he was gonna go to the hospital. I knew he was gonna pass away, and it was just like my dreams were telling me things, and I just had this deep feeling inside of me that I knew, but I couldn't explain how I knew it. Very next day after my dad died, I was at one of my friend's house, and I guess one of my friend's friends was a psychic medium, and she literally was like, did your dad just die? And I was like, yeah, he did. And she was like, I'm a medium. I don't know, but like, I can feel him. And he keeps telling me that he has like a lot of things that he wants to tell you, but he keeps telling me you're psychic and you need to really step into your abilities. Girl, my jaw dropped. I was like, I had told her and I was like, I've had like some weird things, like weird coincidences happen all my life, but even recently I've had some weird coincidences. And I have always like had a deep connection to the other side. I could feel them. I just kind of know that they're around me. Like, it was weird. So my dad dying started this massive spiritual awakening for me. It was crazy. Like within like a few days, like I was like researching mediums. I had watched like every episode of like Long Island Medium, Mama Medium, all those type of shows. I had watched every single episode. So my dad dying, like I just like went on this like learning about mediums and tarot cards and spirituality and shadow work, working through your childhood trauma and all this. And this was not me. This was not who I was. So it was a big shock to me. It was crazy, but I was just pulled here. Like I knew that I was supposed to go here and go into this direction. I was working this big fancy job at a law firm as an HR manager. And then one day I was like, I just can't do this anymore. So I gave them a 2-week notice and I was like, I'm done. I'm ready to move to California. I'm going to be a psychic medium. I'm going to step into my gifts. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm called to do. And I have to go help heal the world. And it's crazy because now that I think back about it, I had like a few people tell me that I had an interesting way of processing my grief with my dad. Like when he died, I cried maybe like 3 or 4 times because I could just feel him so strongly around me. Like it's like I knew he was gone, but I knew he wasn't gone. Like he was just still there. He was just still around me. I could feel him around me, and like I could feel him around me now. Like I can tell he's standing right here. Like y'all want to say hi to him? All my life, I would walk into a room. I would get the chills down my back. I would be able to feel that like people were just in a space, or there was just like energies or entities there. I used to have terrible nightmares when I was a kid. I used to wake up screaming, a plane crash, car crashes, people getting murdered, blood splattered all over the wall. And now that I reflect back on it, I just realized that it was the other side. There was people trying to communicate with me, telling me how they passed, to send messages to people, and it was just weird things happening to me. So that's how I knew I was a psychic.